Right now, as you are sitting in your car, you are breathing air that may be dirtier than the air outside on a busy highway. And your dealer knows it, and they never said a word. Every single time you turn on your AC or your heat, that air is being pushed through a filter that, in most cars, has not been changed in 2, 3, sometimes 5 years. It is packed with dust, mold spores, pollen, bacteria, and in some cases, actual rodent droppings that have been sitting there baking in summer heat. And you are breathing all of it. Every commute, every school run, every road trip with your kids in the back seat. Now here's the part that should make you furious. Dealers will charge you anywhere from $80 to $150 to replace that filter. Sometimes more. For a part that costs $12 at any auto parts store, $12, and takes literally 4 minutes to swap out yourself with zero tools, zero experience, zero mechanical knowledge. But that is not even the real story. The real story is what they put inside that replacement, and what they have been quietly leaving out of the conversation for decades. Because there is a $12 fix that does not just replace your cabin air filter. It eliminates the source of the smell, the bacteria, the mold, and the buildup permanently. And dealerships have known about it the entire time. Stay with me. Because what I am about to show you is going to change how you breathe in your car forever. And it is going to save you hundreds of dollars every single year. Think about how much time you spend in your car. The average American spends approximately 300 hours per year driving. That is more time than most people spend exercising in 5 years. And during every single one of those hours, if your cabin air filter is clogged and your vents are contaminated, you are pulling recycled dirty air directly into your lungs. Studies have shown that the air inside a car with a clogged cabin filter can be 5 to 6 times more polluted than the outdoor air around it. 5 to 6 times. Inside your sealed, climate-controlled vehicle. For people with allergies, this is absolute misery. You ever wonder why your eyes water and your nose runs every single time you turn on the AC, even though you are indoors in your car? That is not a coincidence. That is contaminated air being forced directly at your face at high velocity by your own ventilation system. For kids, it is even worse. Children breathe faster than adults. Their lungs are still developing. Every school run with a dirty filter is putting more particulate matter into their respiratory systems than you would ever knowingly allow. And for people with asthma or any kind of respiratory condition, a clogged, moldy cabin filter is genuinely dangerous. And here's the part nobody talks about. It is not just the filter itself. The evaporator coil inside your dashboard, the one that actually cools the air, is a perfect dark and damp environment for mold and bacteria to grow. Even after you replace the filter, the coil stays contaminated. The smell keeps coming back, that musty wet sock smell that hits you the moment you turn on the AC on a hot day. That is mold, living inside your dashboard, releasing spores every time you run the air. Dealers will sell you an in-cabin air freshener for $8, or they will offer to flush and sanitize your entire ventilation system for anywhere from $150 to $300. And it will work for maybe 2 months. Then the smell comes back, because they are treating the symptom, not the cause. They didn't hide this because it fails. They hid it because it works too well. Now, before I show you the actual fix, I need you to understand something about this channel. We exist for one reason: to dig up the knowledge that billion-dollar industries buried, to put it back in your hands where it belongs. The auto service industry in the United States generates over $115 billion per year. A significant chunk of that comes from services that informed car owners could do themselves for almost nothing. We expose that every single week. If you want to stop wasting money on industry lies, subscribe and hit the bell. Because every video we put out is another piece of the puzzle they do not want you to have. Now let me take you back to 1919. Akron, Ohio, the rubber and chemical manufacturing capital of America. A chemist working for a small industrial supply company was studying the problem of mold and bacterial contamination in enclosed mechanical systems, factories, early automotive ventilation, industrial cooling units. He discovered something that the chemical industry had been quietly aware of for decades, but had never applied to consumer products. A specific combination of enzymatic compounds and natural antimicrobial agents that, when introduced into a ventilation system at the molecular level, did not just kill existing mold and bacteria. It broke down the organic material those organisms feed on. It removed the food source permanently. No food source means no regrowth. The problem does not come back. This knowledge was passed through industrial workers, mechanics, home chemists who understood basic microbiology. Your grandmother already knew this. She used it every single day. Not in cars, because cars were still new, but in her icebox, in her root cellar. In the early refrigeration units of the 1930s and 40s, the principle was the same and the ingredients were sitting in every general store in America. Then the post-war consumer economy took over. Corporations realized that a permanent solution was a terrible business model. You cannot sell a subscription to something that works once and stays working. So the knowledge got buried, quietly, deliberately, and the replacement filter and the ventilation flush and the air freshener clip became a recurring revenue stream that has been running for 70 years. Let me explain what is actually happening inside your ventilation system at the molecular level so you understand exactly why this fix works, and why nothing the dealer sells you actually addresses the root problem. Your evaporator coil gets cold. When warm, humid air passes over it, moisture condenses on the coil surface. That moisture combines with dust particles and skin cells and organic debris that make it past your cabin filter. That organic material is literally food. In the dark, damp environment behind your dashboard, mold and bacteria consume that food and reproduce. Each time you turn off your car, the system warms up slightly, perfect growth conditions. Each time you turn it back on, the fan distributes those spores and bacteria directly into the cabin air. A standard replacement filter stops new particles from entering, but does nothing to the biological colony already established on your evaporator coil. The dealer flush uses a chemical sanitizer spray that kills surface-level organisms, but it does not break down the organic debris underneath. Within weeks, the surviving organisms repopulate, the smell returns. You go back to the dealer, they charge you again. The cycle repeats forever. The fix breaks the cycle at the source, not at the symptom. The auto service industry is worth $115 billion, and a significant portion of it depends on you not knowing what you are about to learn. Cabin air filter replacement alone generates billions in service revenue annually, at markups of 300 to 800% over part cost. Ventilation system cleaning services add hundreds of millions more. These are not complex procedures requiring specialized training or equipment. They are simple maintenance tasks that any car owner can perform in a driveway in under 10 minutes. The industry knows this, which is why your owner's manual buries the cabin filter replacement instructions in small print near the back, which is why dealers never proactively tell you it exists until it has been neglected long enough that you need a full system service. They cannot patent baking soda. They cannot patent white vinegar. They cannot patent the enzymatic cleaning compounds that have been in every grocery store since before most of us were born. So they ignore them. They push proprietary products with proprietary price tags, and they count on you never putting the pieces together yourself. Every year you do not know this, you are handing money to a system that profits specifically from your ignorance. And every allergy attack, every asthma flare, every headache from recycled contaminated car air is the physical cost of that hidden knowledge gap. That ends right now. If you have made it this far, you already know more than 99% of car owners on the road today. And now I'm going to give you the exact method. Step by step. $12, 20 minutes, done permanently. Here is what you need. One new cabin air filter for your specific vehicle. You can find it at any auto parts store for $8 to $15. One can of HVAC coil cleaner spray, foaming type, available at any hardware or auto parts store for around $8 to $12. One small spray bottle filled with a solution of 1 cup of distilled white vinegar and 1 cup of water. That is it. That is the entire arsenal. Step 1, locate your cabin air filter housing. On most vehicles, it is behind the glove box. Open the glove box, press the sides inward to release the stops, and let it drop all the way down. You will see a rectangular housing. Pull the old filter out. Look at it. If it is gray or black or has visible debris on it, it has been restricting your airflow and capturing contamination for far too long. Dispose of it. Step 2. Before you put the new filter in, you need to address the evaporator coil. Turn your car on. Set your ventilation to maximum fan speed, full cold, and set it to recirculate. Now open the hood. On most vehicles, there's a fresh air intake near the base of the windshield under the hood. This is the opening your ventilation system pulls external air through. With the system running on max, take your foaming HVAC coil cleaner and spray a generous amount directly into that intake opening. You will want to imagine the foam being pulled through the system and coating every surface of your evaporator coil as it travels through. Let the system run for 2 full minutes, pulling that cleaner through. Step 3. Switch your ventilation off, recirculate to fresh air mode. Now spray your vinegar and water solution into that same intake. Let the fan pull it through for another 90 seconds. The vinegar solution neutralizes the alkaline residue from the cleaner and adds a secondary antimicrobial layer to every surface the air touches. You will notice the air coming from your vents may smell briefly of vinegar. That is completely normal, and it will dissipate within 10 minutes of normal driving. Step 4. Turn the system off. Wait 5 minutes. Then install your new cabin air filter. Check the arrow on the filter indicating airflow direction and make sure it points toward the blower. Reassemble the glove box. You are done. Now here is the critical step that makes this permanent instead of temporary. Mix equal parts white vinegar and water in your spray bottle and keep it in your car. Once every 4 to 6 weeks, with the car running and ventilation on max, give 3 or 4 sprays into that fresh air intake under the hood, 20 seconds. That recurring maintenance dose prevents any new mold or bacterial colony from establishing itself on the coil surface. No colony means no smell. No smell means no return visits to the dealer permanently. The first time you run your AC after doing this full treatment, you will notice the air smells different. Cleaner, not perfumed like an air freshener. Actually clean, neutral, the way air is supposed to smell. And that quality of air in your car, the air your children and your spouse and you yourself breathe for hundreds of hours every year, is going to stay that way. Without another dollar going to a dealership. This is what they did not want you to figure out, because your ignorance has a price tag on it, and they have been charging you that price every single year. Share this video with someone who complains about that musty car AC smell. Share it with a parent. Share it with anyone who has been going to the dealer for the same problem over and over and wondering why it keeps coming back. Every share keeps alive what the industry tried to erase. And if you want the rest of what they buried, subscribe and hit the bell, because this channel is not content. It is a resistance. The next secret opens soon.